Hey everybody, here we are again. And I've talked about being still a lot this month, and I think I'm ready to move on. So we may not be talking about being still for the rest of June. Instead, we might be talking about how to harness our strong personalities. I don't know, we'll see. Let's see how this goes. What I did this time is I went through President Nelson's talk, A Plea to My Sisters, the one that we just talked about the other day, and I took out all of the things I pulled out. I didn't take them out. I pulled out all of the things that he tells us they need in us with our strong personalities. So I'm going to call this episode We Are Needed, Us and Our Strong Personalities. And I want to share with you the things that I was able to find. So I've grouped them into 7 different categories, all of which he mentions. And then all of the other things that he mentioned, I grouped into one of those 7 things. So let me show you how this works, or what I did. Okay, so the first one is character. He said that they need our love, our happiness, and our virtue. All of those are characteristics. Those are all something that we build into our character. The second category is vision. They need our vision. Strong women with vision. The intuition, he mentions intuition, and he mentions it as distinct characteristics and intuition that have been given to women as gifts from God. So I listed intuition on here. We talked about character already, and then I also listed gifts from God because I think it would be fun to look into gifts of the Spirit and how those gifts of the Spirit, how we can use those in building our character and sharing our vision. And then I also listed gift of discernment because that is one that he specifically calls out. The next category is wisdom. He said that we need women who can administer, teach fearlessly, organize, and then the lead, he said, I lumped these ones into leadership. Plan, direct, executive ability, and make important things happen. And just to clarify a little bit, that make important things happen, he actually said, I've taken some liberties on this one. He actually said, make important things happen by their faith. But faith is a separate category, so I left it over there. And I put this one here because it's more tactical under leading. To lead is to plan, direct, exercise executive ability to be able to make important things happen. And I listed all 4 of these main categories under wisdom. I heard once a long time ago, and I don't remember where it came from. It could be an old Chinese proverb. I don't know. It could just be something that somebody said. But they said that to know something is to have knowledge of it. But to have wisdom is to apply that knowledge. So thinking about it that way, if wisdom is to if wisdom is to apply our knowledge, then to administer, teach fearlessly, organize, and lead would be taking the things that we know how to do or the things that we know something about and applying them, whether it's in our callings or our communities or our homes, which he also talks about towards the end of his talk. Taking our rightful place within our homes, our communities, and the kingdom of God. We can use these things that we know how to do and apply them to the things that we know about. So that's why these are lumped under wisdom. The next category is strength. They need our strength, and specifically strengthen children and families. And he said to protect and strengthen. I moved the protect to a different category, but he said to protect and strengthen children and families in a sin-sick world. Be courageous defenders of families in a sin-sick world. So to strengthen our children and to strengthen our families, I would love to kind of dive in and get more specific about what some of the things are that we need to do to help strengthen our children. I think it's more than just teaching. I think it's a combination of teaching and leading in a way that our children want to follow. But we can talk about that separately. So they need our strength, they need our faith. And then he talks about understanding the power and peace of the temple endowment. And so I moved that under faith. Faith is a huge thing all by itself. I was listening to another podcast the other day. Actually, I think I was watching it on YouTube. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. I was watching something the other day and they were talking about faith as a force. And I kind of want to look into that some more. I think that would be really cool. So faith is a bigger thing, a big enough thing to talk about by itself, but then understanding the power and peace of the temple endowment, we could talk about that for a long time. So here's faith itself, talking about faith as a force, and then understanding the power and peace of the temple endowment. And then we get into listening to the Spirit. He talks a lot about, he says it 2 or 3 different times, speak up and speak out. And then he talks about receiving personal revelation and conversion. And I think, especially for those of us with strong personalities, we get loud. I'm pretty sure I said that already, actually. We get loud, we get passionate about things, and sometimes that comes off the wrong way. So I put this under listening to the Spirit because it's important for us with our loud voices and our strong personalities to make sure that we are saying the right things at the right time in the right way. And we do that by listening to the Spirit. But there are things that we can work on as well, besides just questioning ourselves on when we should say something and when we shouldn't say something. We can work on our articulateness in the meantime. I looked it up yesterday. It's pretty interesting. I thought the definition was great. So we'll look at that a little bit more. And then speaking up, speaking out, and speaking with the authority of God. And I love that he gave us he didn't give it to us. He pointed out, President Nelson pointed out that we have the ability, the capability to be able to speak with the authority of God. And we do that as we follow and we listen to the Spirit. And then he talked about speaking up and speaking out in ward and state councils and how they need our impressions, insights, and inspiration. Not all of us are going to be in ward and state council. I am not in ward and state council. I've been there before. And so this part isn't for me today, but someday I might be in that meeting again, and you might be in that meeting now. And we should talk about our callings and how listening to the Spirit can direct us in receiving revelation for our calling too. So we'll look at that. And then the last topic I included in here was grit. I love that word because it just makes me think like you're going to take a toothbrush and you're going to scrub the grout and you're going to do it with your elbow. Like this is putting in the elbow grease, right? Your grit. So this is your conviction, becoming courageous defenders of families in the sin-sick world, and then protecting children and families. These are the, it makes me think of that picture. I'm sure you guys have probably seen it. The picture of the woman holding the shield, or she's like wearing the shield on her back, and there are arrows in the shield on her back, and she's protecting her child from all of those arrows. Her child appears to be completely oblivious and is just kind of playing with something in front of her, and the child's mother is protecting him from all of those fiery darts, right? So this is the grit is we need your conviction. Like, you know what is right and you're going to stand up for it. We need your courageous defense. You're going to defend the truth, and then making sure that you're using your conviction and your courage to protect your children and your family. Okay, so I've split them up into 7 different categories. Now, what do we do with these 7 different categories? We started off talking by stillness, and it's kind of led us down this path. So I think we'll just continue down this path. I don't know if we'll start with character. I don't know if we'll start with strength. We might start with grit. I'm not sure yet. where to start. What's your opinion? Tell me. Uh, so far, there aren't very many of us, which is fine. Um, but tell me where you think we should start. What should we talk about first? And let's work on these things together so that our strong personalities, we can harness our strong personalities and use them for good. It's a superpower. So we can use our powers for good or for not so good. Let's use our powers for good. Tell me what you think, and we'll see where we go. I appreciate your time. You guys, I really appreciate that you come here and you watch or you listen. And I hope that you're getting something out of it. I know that I'm getting something out of it. I look forward to the study time that I put in for each one of these episodes, and I'm having fun with it. So I appreciate you taking the time to be here with me, and let's learn how to do this together. Thanks so much.